Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty, I want to zoom out and talk to you about why this stage of life, perimenopause and menopause, is one of the most important transitions you'll ever go through. This isn't just about hot flashes or weight gain. It's about your health, your relationships, your career, and your future. It's about the quality of your life. The average woman lives to about 81, and the average age of menopause is 51. That means we now spend at least a third of our lives post-menopause. And if you include the perimenopause transition, it's closer to about half our lives. This isn't just a short season to brush through. There's a profound physiological change that happens. And when you understand what's happening, you can adapt, support your body, and come out stronger on the other side. I want to start with a reality check. Menopause happens to half the population. In the US, about 1.3 million women enter menopause each year, and that's roughly 50 million women in menopause right now. Globally, it's about 1 million. That makes it one of the biggest women's health issues of our time, and yet most of us arrive at this phase completely unprepared. Think about it. In school, no one talked to you about perimenopause or menopause. Many of us didn't learn from our mothers, and many women felt shame talking about any hormone-related issues and kept it to themselves. And most doctors have little to no training in menopause care. You may have tried seeking help from your gynecologist, and they get little to no training on this topic as well. One survey actually reported that OB/GYN residents get anywhere from 0 to 4 hours of formal menopause training in their entire 4-year residency. And if they are even offered it, only about 20% of residencies actually reported having formal training included. Imagine 0 to 4 hours of education. So if you ever felt blindsided, confused, or brushed off by the healthcare system, it's not your fault. You were never given the education or the support that you really deserve. And this gap in our care goes back decades. This is just a side note, but I think it's really worth mentioning. Until the 1990s, women were often excluded from clinical trials because our hormones were considered too variable. The FDA formally discouraged enrolling women of childbearing age starting in 1977. So it wasn't until 1993 that the NIH finally required women to be included in federally funded research. What that means is that most of the drugs, the diagnostic criteria, and the treatment guidelines that we've relied on were built on men's biology. Here's one example that really hits close to home. For years, heart disease research was done mostly entirely in men. The classic symptoms of a heart attack that we learn in medicine, chest pain, chest pressure, and it's leading into the left arm, and crushing tightness. These all came from studies on men. But the thing is, women often present differently, with nausea, fatigue, shortness of breath, or back pain. Because those differences weren't studied, many women are misdiagnosed or treated too late. Even today, women are more likely than men to die after a heart attack. Now, here's where it gets even more frustrating. Back in 2002, the Women's Health Initiative study came out, and I'll do a deeper dive on this in a later video, but this study led to hormone therapy prescriptions plummeting almost overnight. Within a few years, they dropped by nearly 80%, but women's symptoms didn't go away. What we saw instead was a major shift. Antidepressant prescriptions for midlife women rose about 60%, sleep medications and anxiety drugs became more common, and countless women bounced from one specialist to another, the urologist for recurrent UTIs, the psychiatrist for depression or even ADHD, the sleep doctor for insomnia, a lot of these things that happen during menopause. Now let's talk about what that actually looks like day to day. It's lying awake at 2 a.m., sheets soaked, watching the clock because you have to be up in a few hours for work. It's dragging through the morning in brain fog that's so heavy you can't remember where you put your keys or why you walked into the room. It's snapping at your kids or your partner because your mood feels out of control. It's the frustration of eating the same way you've always had, but suddenly your belly starts to grow and nothing seems to work. It's avoiding intimacy because of dryness, pain, or simply not feeling like yourself anymore. It's sitting in a meeting at work trying to stay composed while a hot flash washes over you in front of everyone. It's feeling a sudden rush of anxiety and heart racing that you've never had before that sends you to the ER because you literally think you're dying. It's fatigue that causes your energy to dip in the afternoon that leads you to consuming excessive caffeine. Otherwise, you need to take a nap and you can't get through your day. These aren't just minor inconveniences. They're daily battles that can drain your confidence, your relationships, your productivity, and even your sense of self. And too often, women are just told that this is a natural part of aging. I'm sorry, but why would any woman accept fatigue, low libido, insomnia, depression as a normal part of aging when there's something we can actually do about it? And here's the part that most women don't hear. The cost of untreated menopause is enormous. The Mayo Clinic estimates menopause symptoms costing US women $1.8 billion every year in lost work time and over $26 billion when you add in medical costs. Another study showed that women who reported menopause symptoms to a healthcare provider earned about 10% less in the years that followed, often because of missed work, reduced hours, or shifting into a less demanding role. But the cost isn't just financial. It shows up in strained marriages, in intimacy issues, in women scaling back from careers because of fatigue or brain fog, or in confidence that quietly slips away. And if symptoms weren't enough, here's the bigger picture. Untreated menopause has long-term health consequences. Estrogen is protective, so it supports your heart, your bones, your brain, and your metabolism. When it drops, the risk rises for type 2 diabetes and insulin resistance, blood pressure and cardiovascular disease, abdominal or visceral fat gain, and metabolic syndrome, osteoporosis and fractures, cognitive decline and dementia. This is why I say menopause is not just about hot flashes, it's about healthy aging. Now, for this week, I just want you to do one thing. Open your Women's Hormone Optimization Guide and review Chapter 1. This will help you connect with what we're learning here. And here's the message I want to leave you with. This phase of life can be overwhelming, and the symptoms are real. The risks are real. And for too long, women have been told to just push through it. It's a natural part of life. But you're here now, and this program is different. Over the next 12 weeks, we're going to cut through the noise, clear up the misinformation, and focus on what actually works. You'll learn how to support your hormones, improve your metabolism, sleep better, manage stress, feel like yourself again, and protect your long-term health. By the end of this program, my goal is that you'll walk away with clarity about what's happening in your body, confidence that you're not broken, and that change is actually possible, and a set of tools and habits that will give you back control. This isn't about getting back to the woman you used to be. This is about building the strongest, healthiest version of you moving forward. So just remember, you are not alone, and I'm honored to guide you through this journey.